Hi YouTube! So I wanted to hurry up and give you guys this video about the ASVAB test. The test is really not too hard. Before you take it, you're going to want to take the assessment test at your recruiter's office. The assessment test is a really good indicator on how you're going to do on the actual test. So your recruiter will give it to you. It's not very long. It takes about 45 minutes. You just sit there, take it. Don't use a calculator. Don't use your phone because you want to get a true score so you know where you're at. After you take that, compare your score to the jobs you were looking at getting. So for me, on the assessment, I got a 72. I needed a 72 on the real test. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of along where I need to be. One thing to know about the assessment is it's a lot easier, it's a lot harder than the actual ASVAB. So it's actually harder. So you're going to actually do better, hopefully, on your ASVAB test. It's not a huge swing. Normally the swing I've heard is about 5 to 10 points. So, if you're in the ballpark, you'll probably do better on your ASVAB. The ASVAB is easier questions. It's just freaking long. It's a much longer test. It's like 3 hours long. But yeah, so, compare your score, look at your jobs, figure out what you need and what tests you need to score well on, and then study for those tests, basically. So for me, it was all the general testing areas. It was the first 5 sections of your ASVAB, which is your science, it's vocabulary, 2 math sections. One of them is more like word problems, and then another reading comprehension section where you basically read a paragraph and basically answer a question to make sure you understood what you read. So it's not hard. It's stuff that, if you're right out of high school, I think it'll be a breeze for you. If you're in college, it shouldn't be hard. It should be easy for you. There are some parts of the science tests that I could see people struggling with a little bit. For me, I haven't taken high school chemistry and physics and stuff like that for like 5 years. So those things I was rusty on, but it really wasn't bad. How I prepared for it, I basically went online and I looked at some practice tests. I'll put the link below. I basically took some practice tests, to help myself get used to taking the test. And then I also went to my local library and I checked out an ASVAB study guide. I'll link the book because I don't remember the name right now, but I'll link it. It was helpful. I really didn't use the study portion too much. I mainly took the test. But it does have some general information about the test, which I found helpful. I like knowing what I'm sitting down to take. I like knowing how many sections there are, all that kind of stuff. There's 10 sections on the ASVAB. Like I said, the first 5 is science, 2 maths, and 2, one reading comprehension, 1 vocabulary, and then you have your weird sections. It's I don't even remember what all of them are, but it's like electrical stuff, mechanical stuff, assembling shapes. That one was weird. But depending on your job, you might not even your score in those sections might not matter. But you do want to get the highest score possible. It can open up a lot more opportunities than you thought you had, and you just never know. So just try your best on it. It's not that bad. What else? Yeah, so you'll take your test at MEPs. MEPs isn't too hard. Your recruiter will prepare you for what to expect there. Basically, you're going to have to dress properly. Boobs can't be hanging out. You can't wear spaghetti straps. You can't have a gang-related, shirt, something like that. They do some weird stuff at MEPs. One thing, they make you take your biometrics everywhere, so they make you, do your fingerprint. I have, really little fingers, and my fingerprints could never read. They kept trying and trying. It would always take, 5 times for them to read. So and you have to, literally, they'll, send you across the room. They're check in at this desk, then walk across the room and take your fingerprints again at the next desk. And they're you all can see me. I didn't change people, as I walked across the room. Sign your name consistently when you're at MEPs, because apparently I don't sign my name consistently. Before my scores were released to me, the lady was reading my signature, and she's like, you just signed just now. It didn't look like the way you signed this morning, and it didn't look like the way you signed in your recruiter's office, and I can't release your scores until your signature is consistent. I was like, you're a secretary. You're not a handwriting analyst. Like, my signature looks exactly the same, and you just saw me walk in and take the test. Now I'm walking out, and now my signature is not the same. But, I mean, okay? Like, who do you think was in there for 3 hours? Like, you checked me in. Can't you check me out? No. So I had to sign my name like 5-10 times before they released me my scores. And then, they were all like, don't open your scores in the building. And I'm like, yeah, I'm opening my scores in the building. So I went to the bathroom and I opened my scores. And I got an 89. So, So I was frustrated. I hate standardized tests. It is a long test. Make sure you have good night's sleep. I took mine early in the morning. You're going to be there about 3 or 4 hours at least, because they take a little while to get started. And then you have a personality assessment at the end of the ASVAB, which is like 120 questions. They're really weird questions. They're questions like, would you rather hit your cat or hit your dog? Like, questions where there's not a good answer to it. So, you basically just have to pick one, and one of them describes your personality more than the other. But supposedly, if you answer enough of these questions a certain way, they determine that you're like a sociopath and you won't be let in the military. And none of the questions are like questions that a normal person couldn't say yes to. So like you could just be answering normal questions, and who knows, maybe you'll be a sociopath. I don't know. But if you just consistently answer in I don't know, it's weird. So I was just like, what is my personality? Like, I asked them, I was like, what does my personality assessment say? They're like, well, that's secret information. You can't be released. But, it didn't flag you, so you're good to go. So, yeah, sociopath. But there were a lot of questions about, like, team building and, like, do you like working on projects in school? And I was like, hell no. I hate working on projects in school. I'd rather work on my own, for my own self, because if I'm going to bomb it, I bomb alone. If I'm going to soar, I soar alone. Like, I do not like team projects. So I don't know what the military thinks about that, but, well. So yeah, but I passed it all. It was okay. It's not that bad. Just get a good study guide. And if you bomb it, you can take it again in a month. I know you don't want to, but you can. So don't stress too much. But really just brush up on the stuff that you're weak in, and, really pay attention to what you struggle with on your recruiter, in the one you take at your recruiter's office, and you'll be fine, because you can study for it from that.